Hello, I think, and welcome to Rizpod, episode number 30. We made it. Um,
Yes.
and so does episode number 30, does that mean that we don't quit?
No, we're not quitters.
Yeah, so subscribe and share, go to rizpod.live. But does it mean we don't quit, or are we actually really good at this? I don't know. Um,
Well, you have to know that this is the 30th episode. We also plan. We're also doing a bunch of other things. So 30 is a good number to get to. So I'm proud. Thank
okay.
you, John, for joining me as always.
But want to say just the title here. So the title for this episode is "Please Don't DM Me or Pitch." um, so
There
this
were a
came
lot
out
more
from,
risque. There were a lot more risque titles and or more controversial, but we toned it down a little bit. But if you listen on, you'll understand why.
So did want to give some context on this, Marissa, why we had a conversation the other day, and this is just something that was top of mind for you.
Yeah, so my personal experience with LinkedIn, I love it. It's my best platform. It's where I get most of my business. Is where I can connect with people. But there's also a downside, and I think a lot of people who don't use it actively feel the same way because they're getting spammed, and I say spammed in their inbox because people are using the tools that are available to them on LinkedIn to get the most amount of people, most amount of leads, most amount of connections. And it came up because I get these incoming messages from strangers, essentially, and they want to waste my time. And we need to talk about this. So, you know.
This is great. Well, if the future people have not, you can just, for future unwanted DMs, you can just link this episode for them, right?
Yes.
It'll have the title there. It'll be perfect.
I love it. Yeah.
And anybody else can too. Maybe that's how we'll get famous. Just
Yes.
put this in your DM. Just link our episode
Yes.
as your response to any unwanted DM. That's beautiful.
Yes.
But so outline for this episode, as an event tech person myself and somebody that needs to do some kind of outreach, I just want to say what you could do is a section on in here. Then I think the funnest part is going to be what not to do.
Yes.
And then finally we'll talk about opinions on different outreach methods.
Yes.
Sound good?
Yeah, sounds
Yeah.
good.
Awesome. Well, let's jump in to section number 1 here. We'll need to go back and forth a little, but I feel like I went to business school, I did startup school, whatever. So I learned in theory how this should be done. The first thing you need to do is just get really clear about what problem you're actually solving.
Yes.
Right? This sounds basic, but it's hard. And if you don't figure it out, then all you're sending people is, hey, I made a thing. And they're like, who cares?
Well, and I think that, just a little bit more research, just a little more, look at my profile just a little bit and see if this is something that you should send me. Because
Exactly.
I get people pitching me how to update and use LinkedIn to generate business. I'm like, yes, I'm very active. Can you do a little research?
Fair. Yeah. The second step is then figuring out who has that problem and then confirm that. And this is the hardest part. You've got to actually somehow get warm referrals or just warm intros or do the hard work of warming up a cold lead by actually doing research like you're saying, and then have actual user interviews with them to see if what you're working on even makes sense for them at all.
Right.
So
if you meet someone on a demo, kind of fast forward your process to what is that first question you ask them on a demo? Not, I want to show you a demo, here's a link to my calendar, let's fast forward that. And what question can you ask them? Are you having a problem with this? Is this a pain point for you? Or,
totally.
And that to me, I appreciate that more than here's my link. Let's set up a date, let's set up a phone date,
Yeah. And then, so from there you can get pilot customers, these people have helped you. They're probably going to use it. Then you can get them to talk about how your product made a difference for them. And just knowing it in your customer's point of view is going to help you get more customers. Their words are always the best words, right?
Right.
And then, so now you've got like an actual clear value proposition. So you can actually start doing things like outreach, getting intros, working with like online communities, etc., to grow a little bit faster.
Do you think that there are opportunities where someone, if you're not already in a community, that you can drop in and like listen to like the pain points or figure out what you can potentially pitch to people, John?
Yeah, absolutely. Like that's a really great early way to get involved. Just jump into a community and don't immediately be the loudest person. Be like the best listener, right?
Yeah. I'll use an example. I was recently supposed to attend an event for PR professionals. Now, the reason why I wanted to do that was, one, to how to perfect my pitch, but also like, what are they, and they were like pitching stories to like newspapers and stuff like that. But what can I learn from them to give to my clients, to empower my clients, right? So I didn't end up attending it because the timing didn't work out, but like I just applied and I was going to go network with all these people that I'm not a PR professional, but I need that stuff to, and who knows who I would have met there. But now I'm on their Slack channel. I could potentially start a conversation, but I see everything that they love about their industry and how we can like start a conversation potentially to work together. So that's just an example. And it's a matter of just looking and listening online and figuring out where you want to dive in.
Yeah. Not just spamming a bunch of PR people.
Yeah. I want to pick your brain.
It is a way to do it, but
Yeah.
but so I hope that's relatively clear for people. Obviously, it's pretty simplified, pretty streamlined, but there is a right way to do it. You got to come up with that VP and get like actually know what the people you're targeting actually want to hear what you're saying, or have a pretty good indication, right?
And make it well. And if you don't know, if you're not clear on that, make the conversation about them. That way you can maybe figure out where you guide it, or if it's even worth getting to that level of pitch, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you make it, oh, look at me, look at my thing, let's do this thing, then I'm just tuned out. I don't want to talk about anything you have to offer because you don't even know what my pain points are. You don't even know what I do or care about. What if I didn't update my profile?
Yeah.
So
Totally.
that's
Doing that
that's a simple way.
Yeah, a one minute of research can like really increase your response rate, right? But that is the issue. I don't know if people really realize what LinkedIn Sales Navigator can do. It is like a spam machine, right?
Yeah.
And you can use it well. You can use it for good purposes, but like in the simplest version of it, it's so easy to spam so many people so fast. It's kind of ridiculous. But so examples of what not to do. Just general spam. It's like unpersonalized outreach from an unknown contact. And then the clarity here is no, autofilling my name and business doesn't count. And so, Marisa, I love what you have on your LinkedIn. Your name is not just your name, right? You have like an icon as part of your name.
Yeah, I put this is for like 4 or 5 years. I've had the emoji, like it's like star or like what I like universe, like a universe thing. And so anytime I get a DM with that in front of it, I know it's an automated thing.
Yeah.
Because people don't type out, hey, Marisa, and put the star, right? No. They're not going to do that. That's like too much work, right? So I know that for a fact. Do.
Yeah. And so like a couple different examples of this, like they absolutely, I think I want to try to start with the worst possible LinkedIn connection outreach and then go to like the more complicated, but still obviously a robot. The worst one is like just a blank connection request. I think that actually looks the most human these days. Just a connection request without any context. It almost looks like, oh, wow, this person was just maybe too busy. The next one is just like, hey, I'm trying to grow my network. Like, fantastic. Please let me accept your invite so you can spam me the next day. The next one, which I know is like because of a setting in LinkedIn Sales Navigator, it's like, hey, John, I see we have connections in common.
Okay.
Imagine somebody approached you at a party and was like, I see that we're in the same room together, so I figured that I should talk to you. Like, excuse me.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, no. None of those will work. Not they won't.
Yeah.
And you're right. The going back to the most simple, basic request without any message. If it's not going to be really personalized, just send it. Don't send
Yeah.
this crap. Hey, first name. I see you're working or doing great things, and I think I've
Company.
gotten you're doing great things in marketing, and then I always follow up. So what am I doing that's so great? And they never respond. You don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
How do you
No
know?
idea. Like,
And I am.
I'm interested to meet if somebody can comment somewhere, just like, have they ever believed that when they saw it the first time? Oh, somebody sees the things I'm doing in marketing. Hooray.
I feel seen.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But so I think next section, like just translations of like when somebody says something, like what it really means,
Yes.
right? So do you want to read out the first one?
Yeah. Let's book a demo.
That's I'd like to waste some of my time and yours. When's a good time for you?
No, here's my link. Find it. And I'm like, oh. So you want to take my time, then you want me to click on your link so I can go find what works for me. Okay. You haven't even got to know me. How do I know that I'm going to go work with you or even want to be shown a demo? So,
Yeah.
all right. The next one. I'd love to give you a free trial.
Yeah. This is worse than a demo. It'd say, I want to waste your time, not mine. Like, I don't have the time to watch you waste your time, but please spend half a day on this.
And on the follow up to that, I'd love to give you a free trial, and if you can, give us feedback on your experience.
Yeah.
So that means I have to really go in there and actually do it, and then formulate a response to you. So that's more waste of my time. Okay. Anyways.
Next one, partnership opportunity. I have an exciting partnership opportunity for you.
And that means I have no idea how to sell my product. Please sell it, and I'll let you keep 5%.
10% if you do 100 grand a year.
Yeah. Oh man. Not good.
Okay. How about what I'd like to pick your brain?
That means let me complain about my business and you offer me free consulting.
I think that's actually how I got you the first time, though. I think that's why we're friends. So it used to work.
That's okay.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Another one, I think you get this one sometimes. We should do a project together.
Yes, I get this a lot. Yeah. Okay. We should do a project together. Now, who's doing what? Because you probably have a great idea and I'm probably all in because I love the creativity. But what are we doing and who's doing what? Because I don't want to start something and then not finish it or even, get 30 episodes out. I mean, we've got 30 episodes. So, yeah, you do a bunch of work and I'll take a cut of the success.
Another one that's kind of related is when people just reach out when they clearly want you to spend the money. Totally. They're just like, I think I have an amazing opportunity for you here. And it's like, oh, you want me to advertise it your thing? Of course. What an amazing opportunity. Please.
So do you think that you obviously are doing outreach on LinkedIn. Have you, we talked about a lot about what not to do or what you need to be clear on. Do you have any examples of what did work? Outside of the one with me,
Outside of the one with you. Yeah, honestly, what I do a lot of the time is I research on LinkedIn and then I phone people. So once I've figured out they probably have events that could really benefit from our product, then at that point I give them a call to clear that up. Because I don't always know for sure. A lot of planners, a lot of producers do different stuff, but I use LinkedIn for the actual research and then the phone for the outreach piece.
Yeah. That's a good strategy. I love the phone. I think that, I don't know if you saw my post recently, but people are scared to use the phone. And I think they're scared because they want to they want to get on a Zoom and like kind of feel it out. But like, have you ever been on a Zoom with someone that's like super like waiting for you to pitch the product or,
Yeah.
and it's just awkward. It's like, okay, when is the pitch going to come? Like
Yeah.
you're barely getting to know them. Like this is weird, to like watch their presentation and then you're like, all right, what's the point of this?
Yeah. Totally.
Phone is my go-to. So if you're listening to this and you really want to connect with me and you really want to pick my brain or you really want to get me free trial, give me a call and my number is on my profile and it's on my website. So you have no excuse.
Right
It's right there. Call me.
Yeah.
You can even text me with that number. Like
Yeah.
actually, listen a little bit to people. And I think phone is actually working a lot better just in general because Zoom fatigue, which we've talked about plenty of times on this podcast. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I think phone
What a
phone
nice
is like,
segue.
yeah, totally. So final thing, opinion piece, like how do you like to be reached out to? What do you find is the most annoying, least annoying? So it sounds like you like cold calls.
Yeah. Well, I would say like lukewarm calls, like do a little research because I think I get a lot of cold calls from like, extended warranty on my car, you've been approved for loans. Like that's just, robots like continuously. But if you really want to, work together with me, give me a phone call. And I actually wouldn't be against it if you called me and left. And yeah, maybe I didn't answer the phone, leave a voicemail. I learned this tactic from one of my past clients who's a sales consultant and pick up the phone, and you hear someone's voice. You actually can like really listen to them and not look at them in the camera, and make it awkward.
Yeah.
Some people don't like being on video because they're looking
Lots
at
of people.
themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
I
like cold
definitely-
calls?
Do I like getting them? Not when it, like you said, like a lot. That's the thing is like a lot of cold calls are so poorly done. They're so cold. They're like ice calls. But they like the absolute worst is when there's like that 2-second delay between when you pick up the phone and the actual person answers because they're actually calling 1,000 people a minute and you're the only idiot to pick up. So it's like, hey, John. And by then I'm just like goodbye, like please don't bother, right? But so like when I'm calling people, I'm always like it's easy, it's fast to answer, and it's like a real thing. It's not like I know the person's name, etc., and their business. So I don't mind cold calls that are done well. I don't think. Cold emails would be the next thing. I think for me these are generally maybe the most annoying.
Yeah.
Because it's like I do want to keep my inbox clean, and these people prevent that from happening.
Yes. The worst is like I'm just checking to see if you got my last email, and it's like
Just
copy
checking.
paste with like the other email that I never got. That they're like pretending like it's
So the translation for just checking, the translation is I was too lazy to write new content, so I'm just gonna write a just checking and reply to this old email.
which was never sent. I keep inbox 0. I'm like this no. And I think I was recently watching like a sales call about using AI to get more cold emails, and it's actually working because they're doing more, they're pulling more information from the internet. So if they're using these tools, it is better, but these are enterprise level products. So like if you're a small business, like why don't you take the time just to write a semi script, but like put in those details of like, if you really don't like to get on the phone, like, you're looking at my profile, you went to my website. Like I've had emails to my new email address referencing my old website. Like what? Where did you get this information? I don't even do that business anymore, and that's the same thing with those cold emails that hopefully someone responds, so don't love them, but I'll deal with them.
LinkedIn connection requests. I like these more than cold email just because Well, I just don't even look at my LinkedIn connection requests a lot.
Yeah.
So, um,
You
and
don't
where
look, you just like accept, or you just
no,
don't
no,
look.
no. Like I every now and then I go through it, but I'm not as worried about it as like
Hmm.
keeping my email because like actual customers contact us through email, and so I
Right.
need to like manage that inbox. But the LinkedIn
Hmm.
connection request, I'm never like there's never anything urgent really in there. I don't think
Hmm.
so. I don't
Hmm.
mind. Go ahead and do them, but again, like we talked about, just don't give me the. I see we have mutual connections. Oh wow,
Wow, cool.
what a sign from the gods. We should be friends.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Now I can't wait to like see more. I hope I get some weird ones and I can share them with you. Text
Yeah.
messages, yes or no?
This is something I haven't been doing for outreach. I haven't really been
Hmm.
getting them. Uh,
Mm.
I think maybe my phone blocks unknown numbers. Every
That's
now and
not
then
good.
I get the random ones. Or like hey, they'll be like, "Hey Candace, what are you up to this weekend?" It's like, well, I don't know what that is, but
Depending on the mood I'm in, I tend to engage them, but those are just, when they're spam
totally for
because
fun.
they're
Yeah,
like, "Are you going to Candace's wedding?" And I'm like, "No, I hate her." Like,
yeah,
"What? Why do you hate her?" Like, I'm just having fun, you know? But if they are like, "I have remote work available. Are you interested?"
yeah,
I hate those. And those are spam, like phishing opportunities because they'll trick you into giving info. But I think if, like I said, I have my phone number on my website, on my profile. If you do an intentional, it's on my profile, it's there. If you actually reach out to me via text and say, "Hey, like, I'd love to connect with you. When's a good time?" That to me, like, and then you don't put your pitch in there and it's a text message, I might actually respond to you. Don't pitch me right away because I'm like, okay. Then we get on the phone. I'm like, oh, this is a pitch call. Then
yeah,
I can like softly let them down, but don't make me read a whole paragraph to then find out, are they really there for me? Like, or are they
yeah.
trying to waste my time? Like, so I don't know. Just weird.
Interesting. What is the ideal text message to get then, from your point of view? Just like pretty short, just like, "Hey, do you have a few minutes to chat?" Or "I tried calling," or something like that.
I think it goes back to the beginning. Like, what problem are you solving? Or like, what are you actually trying to do? Right. Are you trying to connect? Are you trying to get industry information? Are you actually want to talk to a project? But like, let's use an example of someone trying to work with me on a project. "Hey, I had a few ideas about a project. I wanted to know if you were interested, but I need to know when you're available. Are you available tomorrow?" Like, for me, like, I think a lot of people don't like Calendly links. I don't mind them, but sometimes I don't give people my Calendly link because it requires them to waste more time, right? They have to go and click on the link and find what works for them. So sometimes I just give them options, even if I have like 6 hours open. I
Yeah,
say, okay, 2 p.m. or like 11 a.m. on this day.
yeah,
And it allows them to say, okay, yeah, either one of those. Because I can look at my calendar if I'm on the other side and say, yeah, I can do this time easily. Right.
yeah,
And then I say, okay, great, I'll send you a link. Right. So
yeah,
it's not the impersonal calendar link, but it's also
yeah,
being very direct with like, I want to get on the phone with you. Here's some times. Don't
yeah,
waste your time looking at your calendar and finding the right time and clicking on the link, So
yeah. Any other outreach methods we should cover? Calls, emails, text, LinkedIn, other
well,
social media, Facebook.
the other thing, I mean, when we're talking about LinkedIn, like we talk about DMs and stuff like that, but why
Yeah,
wouldn't you engage on someone's post initially, right? If you really want to
totally.
get their feedback, like,
Yeah,
"Oh, I love that you had this opinion." Like, it's really easy to look on someone's profile and find something that they're talking about that relates to you. And to me, that shows, okay, you're interested in what I do or what I offer. Then we can maybe like go to the next stage, right? But if
yeah,
you're just like right up in my DMs, this is all the pitch, then I'm not good. It's like dating, right? Like,
yeah,
do it a little softer,
yeah.
please.
I would like to have 5 kids within 2 years and what?
Yeah. Yeah,
You
so
gotta
I
start
think
slow. Gotta start slow.
yeah.
Start with a conversation.
Honestly, if you do that one or two times a week, like as I post, and then the next week you pitch me, I would actually probably be more open to your pitch, even if it's a long pitch, because I know that you were looking at my profile or engaging with me. So
Yeah.
it does take a little bit longer, but whatever.
Fair. I like it. Well, I'm going to reiterate that I am going to use this just the beginning and for any incoming connection requests. I'm just going to reply with this episode link. It's going to be fantastic.
Yes.
And you can find it at rizpod.live.
Yes.
As can everybody else. Any other thoughts that we should share before breaking off our 30th most hilarious episode of all time?
I had a lot of fun laughing. I think talking also to salespeople, business development managers, and letting them know that it's not working. To give, like I have a friend who's a salesperson, and like they're always wondering, like, how can you be better? And I will let them know to listen to this episode because LinkedIn quick pitches are not working. So
awesome. Well, that about wraps this episode. For show notes, etc.
Yes.
Go to rizpod.live.
Yes. And we will see you next time, and take care.
Bye.
Thanks for watching Resilient Events, where co-hosts Marisa and Jon provide overwhelmed entrepreneurs with a comprehensive strategy for using podcasts, live streams, and events to establish expertise in any industry. With real-life examples and events expertise, they'll help you finish planning and start doing. Visit rizpod.live for show extras and freebies.